client check-ins, how often via email, and if once a week, on average, how much back and forth is there between you and a client in that one check-in? And does it usually end up being back and forth for a couple days due to delays in reply from clients? I found that with a handful of clients I've worked with, the only client online I have at the moment, I do a check-in on Sunday, but then I end up not getting a reply either until late Sunday or the day after, and I'm trying to troubleshoot and expand on more things, but then at most I might get a second or third reply, or they still don't really provide information / their opinions, and when they do, it's very vague. I feel like I'm trying to get a deeper understanding, but not really getting there. Hope that makes sense. P.S. Jordan, big congrats. You look so chuffed and proud big congrats on the baby. You look so chuffed and proud when you hold her.
Thank you very much. I'm going to start using the word chuffed. I love that.
Irish.
I'm very chuffed. Hope we're pronouncing your name right as well. Please let us know. Do you want to start with this, or you want me to?
The first thing I'll say is that this is definitely something that will happen. And because I think you said you have one online client right now, the fact that this one online client is potentially being a vague or maybe not the most enthusiastic or not replying immediately, like that's extremely normal. Not only is it the nature of email that you're not necessarily going to be going back and forth over the course of a single day. It's just, that's the way that some people respond to check-ins and email in general. And for some clients, you are going to have to ask more questions and you are going to have to press them a little bit to get that information out. Whereas other clients, you might ask how they're doing and get, 7 paragraphs. So it depends on the person. And it's not abnormal to even if they are giving proper replies, it's not abnormal to go back and forth over the span of a few days to get to the bottom of something or to solve whatever issue is going on.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Some clients, you're going to send an email and they will reply within a minute. Like literally as soon as you send an email, they'll reply right back. And other people, they will ghost you. And other people, they'll take 12 hours. Other people will take 72 hours. There's a whole gamut. And as you work with more and more and more clients, you'll notice these different trends and patterns. I always tried to figure out, like based on the questions and the way they answered questions in my preliminary analysis of someone before I took them on as a client, which type of client they would be. And like, no matter what, I just couldn't figure it out. The only consistent was if someone wrote massive, like 2,000 word answers to the questions that you asked them in the preliminary screen, that's probably what their emails were going to be like. So just be aware, if someone is very wordy in the preliminary thing, they're probably going to be very wordy in their emails to you on a regular basis. In terms of client check-ins and how it works, this is also another example of you have to do what works best for you as a coach. And I know I went through multiple systems. Like I tried many different strategies throughout the early parts of my career until I landed on what worked well for me. And I landed on daily check-ins. Monday through Friday, daily check-ins. Send me your weight every morning. Send me your calories and protein from the day before and any questions that you have. And Mike traditionally has done a 1 time a week check-in with his clients. They both have pros and cons, and it really just depends on which one you prefer and which one feels right for you. I wouldn't have multiple options. I wouldn't have, well, some clients can do this, check in daily, and other clients can check in weekly. I would not do that. I would try each system, figure out which one works for you best, and stick with that and have the clients fall into your system. Don't try and fit yourself into whatever the clients want, because that's a recipe for disaster. After a certain point, I know let's say once you get to 50 clients, you're going to have a number of those clients replying immediately back to you as soon as you send them an email. You're going to have other clients who are ghosting you and other clients who are taking like a more normal time frame to get back to you. So what I would actually recommend is they have an amazing feature on Gmail where you can delay when an email sends. And this became very helpful for me as my client roster got more and more loaded, where I was getting a lot of anxiety from email because I would, have a lot of emails in my inbox, and I would try and be emptying it. But as I was emptying it, they were coming right back in. So I'd be like, oh man, I'm trying to get this empty. I'm trying to get this empty. But as soon as I send an email, I would get people replying back and it would just increase my anxiety. So one thing that you can do is you can delay an email. Like, so you could write and send all your client emails. You can also pause your inbox so emails don't come back into it. But what I would do is I would write the email and I would set a delay so it wouldn't be sent for like 12 hours. So all of those emails would be sent about 12 hours from that point. That way I could send all those emails. They'd be out of my inbox. The inbox would be empty. And then 12 hours later, those would be sent. Then I knew in about 12 hours, that's when the emails would start coming in again. That's a very good strategy for as your client roster grows, and also pausing your inbox to sort of deal and manage with that anxiety. Like you send them, you're not going to get you're going to get any emails in until you unpause your inbox. But for right now, especially when you've got, I'd say between 1 and 12 or 1 and 15 clients, you have the freedom to try and experiment with new systems and try new things because like you don't have that big of a roster yet. You have more time and flexibility with that. So at least once a week check-ins, if not daily. I would say one of the major pros of a weekly check-in means that you don't necessarily have as many daily emails. One of the pros of the daily check-ins is you often can, rather than one big check-in weekly, you might get smaller emails on a day-to-day basis, so it's not as big of a check-in once a week. But figuring out which one is better for you.
The main reason for that, like delaying an email being sent, is because you're trying to reply to all your emails. You're trying to get that inbox to zero, and that anxiety, I would imagine, came from the fact that you got 40 emails, you replied to one, you're working on another one. While you're working on another one, that person replied, and it's like, I'm not making any progress here on my inbox. Correct. Because they keep coming in as I'm sending them out.
Exactly.
So that's a strategy that allows you to actually get to inbox zero.
Such a genius invention by Google and Gmail where they're like, they allow you to pause your inbox or delay the email being sent. It's so helpful and it's really, really good. They also have something, I don't know if this is a plugin where you can see if someone's read your email. That's really good for clients who are ghosting. Like, and you can see like, and what I used to do is like, if I had a client that started to ghost, I would send those emails just to make sure they were okay. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, cool. Well, at least they're reading it. At least like they're getting it. So cool. I'm good. So that is another very good tool to have as well.
Then it's more likely that perhaps that person, is not following the program, might be a little embarrassed, might not want to reply for that reason, rather than something actually happened to him or her that is leading to like your client not responding.